Hello, class. Welcome to week 8. We are going to be starting a 2-week project similar to the length of the Albrecht Dürer assignment. Let's take a look. Chuck Close was an artist that became famous in the 1970s. He drew from a grid, which means he took a source material and made a ratio grid on an image, and then transferred a larger grid onto a larger image, and then drew from that grid. We're going to be trying to do that same thing in this 2-week project. Now here he is in his studio, making a very large-scale drawing. Here's another one of his drawings. It's actually a self-portrait that he did while he was in graduate school. We're kind of going to go backwards, kind of how the normal lecture works. We're going to look at some finished products, just to kind of show you some good examples here. Obviously, this lecture is on Blackboard for you to take a look at that. But what you'll see in good examples is most of the good examples are, first of all, portraiture, with a good amount of detail being able to be seen, possibly different textures, but most importantly, good value structures. So good dark value, good highlights. And when you have those sort of three things, but especially good value structure, you're going to set yourself up for success. So really good student examples. This is, once again, an assignment that people really impress themselves on. They can follow directions and do the ratio grid properly. It sort of takes the proportional guessing game away. So here's a good example. Here is my gridded off source. This would be the first step. This would be the first week that we're going to work on it. We're going to be doing the contour sketch of the image. And then this is a finished drawing. The second week, we're going to be adding value structure. Now, there's a bunch of different ways of going about doing the grid properly. I have images here. Obviously, I have a demo video that walks you through step by step. But you are going to be, very importantly, working on your 18 by 24 drawing paper. That is a requirement for this project and for every project moving forward. And you're going to be, on that 18 by 24 drawing paper, making a 16 by 20 2 by 2 inch grid. Now, it seems like a lot of numbers. It's going to look like this at the end. I walk you once again step by step through this in the demonstration video, as well as kind of step by step images here, talking about starting from the border, making 1 and 2 inch different borders, making marks every 2 inches, starting from there, drawing lines vertically or horizontally, connecting those dots all the way through, and at the end giving me this. So this is going to be sort of our discussion board this week. So Tuesday by midnight, I'll be looking for two things. One is going to be your image that you've chosen, gridded off at 8 by 10. This image has been printed on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of computer paper, a standard sheet of computer paper printed at 8 by 10 inches. Now, it is important that it is 8 by 10 inches because we are going to be doing a 1 by 1 inch grid on our 8 by 10 and then transferring it to a 2 by 2 inch grid on our 16 by 20. I know there's a lot of numbers flying around right now. I promise if you watch the demo videos, it will all make sense. But first things you got to do, find a good image that you want to work from. Remember, this could be your favorite athlete, a historical figure, a scene from your favorite movie, but it's really important here, no cartoons or recreations of reality, so paintings or other artwork. We want to work from reality. Now, obviously, a dramatized film or something like that is still reality. Those are actors, live action, right? We want to draw reality. You will then take that image and print it at 8 by 10 on that standard 8.5 by 11. And then you're going to be doing your grids. That's all that's going to be due Tuesday by midnight. And if I go over here for a second, we go to week 8 here, and you'll see I want you to upload your printed or digitally planned source material and gridded off 18 by 24 drawing paper by Tuesday before midnight. Just a quick note here, I prefer to work on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of computer paper because it's easy and I can work with my hands better. You can do this digitally, and if you have that knowledge, more power to you. I can't really teach you how to do that in a short amount of time. But just keep in mind, if you have equal 10 by 8 grid, kind of at any measurement, the ratio will work because this is going to be 8 sections by 10 sections, 2 by 2 inches. Once again, as long as you have 8 by 10 sections that are evenly measured, it will translate properly. Now, if that doesn't make sense to you, totally fine. Please print. I prefer most people to print unless they're very confident in doing this digitally. But remember, Tuesday before midnight, we'll be looking for this image, your image that you've chosen, gridded off, just like this, and your 18 by 24 inch drawing paper with just the grid. Then by Wednesday, I'll be giving you guys feedback. Hopefully, it'll just be a thumbs up. Everything looks good. You picked a good image and you did your grids properly. If not, it might be like a, hey, this image might not work because. So we can figure that out as soon as possible. And then just like the Albrecht Dürer project, these projects are going to be due on Sunday. So the first step, once again, Tuesday by midnight, is going to be gridding your image that you've chosen and gridding your larger paper. Once I give you the check mark there, you'll be doing the contour sketch, which this is the contour sketch here. I show sort of breaking down contour sketch in sort of detail here as well, where I'm outlining highlights and shadows. Remember, the more detail you can plan in that contour stage, the better. When you start adding value, it becomes almost like a shade by number. You kind of look at a value and you say, this is darker than that, and it's comparative, and things start to flow pretty well. Once again, first week will be contour sketch. We'll get feedback on that after Sunday, most likely on Monday. I'll give you guys feedback on your contour sketches, and then in 2 Sundays, our finished drawing will be due. So the same timeline, 2 weeks as the Albrecht Dürer project, and the same due dates, a little bit different than usually. On the Sunday rather than Friday, you can see all that information on Blackboard. Final review here. Remember, Tuesday, I'll be looking for that printed or digitally planned source material with that 8 by 10, 1 by 1 inch grid, and your paper with just the grid. No contour sketch at that point is necessary. Just looking for the grid, the planning stage. Then, obviously, when we go to week 8, you'll see these videos. They're going to walk you through all of that gridding process and the step-by-step for the contour stage, starting with big macro details and working into micro details as we go. Just remember to take a look at the lecture and always look at those videos. And I promise the preliminary work might seem a little bit rigorous in this drawing, but many professional artists use this process to make professional grade works because, once again, it takes all of the proportional guessing game out of the equation, right? If you do your grid properly, which is a 1 by 1 to 2 by 2, 8 by 10 to 16 by 20, the grid can't lie, if that makes sense, right? So I know that this eye is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across, 1, 2, 3, 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across, 1, 2, 3, 4 down, right? And I can even break down, I show this in the demo video as well, where I draw X's on single quadrants if I have a lot of detail in there to just break them into 4 small triangles rather than 1 square. So you can see the perfect center of that square and then get more detail building out. I think actually the student did some of that as far as breaking these down in half as well, which I encourage. Not necessary depending on what grid you're working in. Some detail is very simple. You kind of just build it out. But in areas of detail, it is smart sometimes to break those grids down further. So you can really see how accurate your translation of the image is. Okay, final reminder. Tuesday by midnight, looking for an image that's gridded. I prefer it to be printed, but you can also do it digitally. And then your 18 by 24 drawing paper with your 16 by 20 grid 2 by 2 on top of it, right? Look at an image like this. Look for an image like this. Last note, the grid that you're drawing at the beginning, in 2 weeks' time, the goal is to not be able to see that grid. That makes sense, right? If I saw the grid at this point of the drawing, it would kind of give the trick away, right? It's not as successful if I see a bunch of grid lines on a finished drawing. So notice that in this stage, we're very, very light on the gridding, right? The grid is only there for you to see your proportions. And once those proportions are laid out, you can actually get rid of the grid. It's done its job. We'll talk more about that specifically in the demo videos. Please watch those videos to make sure we're doing everything properly. Week 1, contour. Week 2 is going to be value structure. Thanks, everybody. Let me know if you have any questions. Once again, this is usually a very exciting project, and people usually impress themselves with the final product after 2 weeks of working hard on them. Thanks, everybody. Email with questions.